Hey, what is up, Spiritual Hooligan? Stop stressing and start living. You know you're a spiritual hooligan when you bust the drunk monkey, you release the hidden motives that are driving your survival consciousness, you embrace enlightened perspectives, and you recontextualize. To stop stressing and start living, you gotta quiet the mind. You got to get the mind to a place where it stops bugging you with all of its insanity about the future and what about and what is this and what if and what if and what if and right, all of that stuff. And there are 4 practices that help you to do that, and I illustrate them in my book, Quiet Mind, Epic Life, but I'm going to brief them with you now. I just want to remind you, and I've got a ton of videos on all of these topics. My name is Matthew Ferry, and I'm bringing you your daily enlightenment. It's your moment to pause, to slow down, and to get connected to enlightened perspectives. I want to help you to quiet your mind and restore your peace. Stop stressing and start living. Quiet mind, epic life. Now, you know you're a spiritual hooligan when you bust the drunk monkey on a regular basis. That drunk monkey, all that talking in your head, when you bust it, when you say, no, I'm not listening to you today. I'm not going to listen to this survival perspective that has nothing to do with my reality. You know you're a spiritual hooligan when you release the hidden motives: greed, grudge, hatred, victim, illogical rules, humble, traitor, pride. These things drive your mind to chatter. They drive your mind to bother you. And that chattering and that bothering is what we call the drunk monkey. You know you're a spiritual hooligan when you connect with enlightened perspectives. And these are perspectives that assume that all is well. And you'll notice that most of the perspectives that you have about your world, about life or whatever, they don't assume that all is well. They assume that something more is needed, something is broken, I need to change something, I'm on my way, I'm not there yet. This is survival consciousness. And what I'm saying is enlightened perspectives will get the stress to go away, because when you know that all is well, there's nothing to stress about. And then finally, you know you're a spiritual hooligan when you take on recontextualization, because once you bust the drunk monkey and you release the hidden motives and you start to connect with enlightened perspectives, now you have to change your language. You have to describe everything in an entirely new way to recognize that all is well. Those 4 practices are the structure for a quiet mind. And a quiet mind massively reduces your stress, which means you're setting yourself up to really live what I call an epic life. As a spiritual hooligan, you know that life doesn't need to be stressful. You know that. Doesn't necessarily mean you have the tools or that you are very good with the tools. But you know that stress does not need to occur. You see that it's a biological reaction. You see that your mind torments you with figments of your imagination that aren't even real. Some stuff is real, right? There are things you are accountable for, and you know there are pragmatic aspects of life. But the way in which you relate to those things determines the degree to which you are in a state of resistance, which creates stress, or in a state of flow, which creates peace. I think you realize that your angst is born out of the illusion that you're in a survival situation. And this is very, very, very important. Will you die? Yes. Do you know when? No. Are you in danger now? No. If your friend says, we decided not to include you in XYZ, is that a dangerous situation? No, but boom, instantaneously you have an anxiety response or an anger response or a victim response. Those are all survival responses to a non-survival situation. When stress or negativity happen, the game for you is to use the 4 things that we talk about in Quiet Mind, Epic Life, to use your understanding of the drunk monkey, the release of the hidden motives, the connecting with enlightened perspectives, and the recontextualization so that you can shift yourself back to the idea that all is well. All is well. And you have no evidence to the contrary, and anything that you say is just an opinion, it's just a perspective. It's not true, it's not real, it's not even provable. It's all based on arbitrary, made-up standards that don't exist. When you get that deeply connected to the illusion that you're living, all of a sudden, peace begins to be pervasive. You see the drunk monkey as a survival GPS, always giving you directions to survive in a world where you're trying to thrive. So you're trying to go straight because you see, oh, there's where my joy is. That's where I'm going to experience the thing that makes the most sense to me. And then the drunk monkey in your head's like, no, go left, because it's pre-programmed to survive. You acknowledge that the hidden motives to survive are always inspiring the drunk monkey. They're telling you that you need to survive. Victim is such a valuable survival tool. Greed is such a valuable survival tool. Yet these things need to be transcended if you're committed to peace, if you're committed to flow, if you're committed to joy. Practicing enlightened perspectives. These are perspectives that when you connect with, for example, the idea, I've lived multiple human lifetimes. This life is a holiday. My soul is on holiday in having an earthly experience. Those ideas assume that all is well. They assume that there's nothing wrong. They assume that life is good. They imply that all is well. And then finally, once you do all that, then you're going to have to figure out, how do I re-language things? This is called recontextualization. How do I re-language things to assume that all is well? So important. If you want to release the stress, so if you want to stop stressing and start living, you got to employ those 4 things. I've got a ton of videos on them. If you haven't watched my series on the drunk monkey, please do. If you haven't watched my playlist on the hidden motives, please do. On the enlightened perspectives, almost everything we do is a recontextualization. Tune in. There's a lot here that will have your mind go quiet. So you want to keep your mind quiet because you know that that's an indicator whether you're in survival consciousness or enlightened consciousness. And I know that you're committed to experiencing enlightened prosperity. So here's my question to you. Which of these 4 things are you going to work on today? You're going to work on the drunk monkey, the hidden motives, the enlightened perspectives, or the recontextualization? Leave me a comment below. I want to know. Will you do me a favor? Will you like this video? Will you share it with the people in your life? Will you also leave me a comment? And will you subscribe to my channel? My name is Matthew Ferry, author of Quiet Mind, Epic Life, and I would love it if you would come join us over at the Spiritual Hooligans Facebook group. We're having a great conversation about these things. Thank you so much for tuning in to this daily enlightenment.